survive. Attack, a 67. And he's the worst word. The flash given the thousands. To see the boys become champions. Oh, 67. And he's the worst word. The flash given the thousands. To see the boys become champions.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 164 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast with myself, Mark. Tonight we've got Big Jerry with us. Evening, Jerry.
Evening, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, bud. We've got our wee Hornswoggle as well, if I can find his picture. There it is. We've got wee Hornswoggle with us again. Evening, Terns.
Evening, Mark. Evening, Jerry.
Evening, Terns.
The links to our forum, everything like that's in the description box below. But www.celticrumours.co.uk. Everybody's more than welcome on there as well. A few shout outs to some of the lads for the forum that listen back. Paul's missus is just out of hospital as well, so he's, I don't know what's happened, just a pure injury list down that Houston, I think. So get well soon, Paul and Veronica. Old Tim, Aloy, Richie, a Glasgow Green, Malika, Welshie, Big Jabba, Mikey as well. Who have we got in the chat so far? I take Bobby. I noticed Bobby was in first. Bobby tried to bribe me, Aidan. He tried to bribe me, say, here, send us a message before you put that out so I can beat you, Aidan. And I was like, no, we go by the book in here. I'm not taking any money off it for things like that. But evening, Bobby, bud, Aidan. Who we got? John Coyle, nice to see you. Liam Doyle, Big Nightmare as well. Thanks very much for coming in, mate. Robert Baker, Drop Bags, McMilliner. That's not heard for you in ages, mate. I don't think. Nice to see you in, bud. Brian, nice to see you as well. Gary Brown, I think that's a new name too. Thanks for joining us, bud. David Gallagher, Rod Petal, Henky Maravchik, thanks very much for all your retweets in that as well, Henky, mate. I appreciate that. Smell the glove. Chris Curtis, nice to see you, bud. Gary Brown, I mentioned you, I think. Who's the Snitch? John Fitzsimmons, love it. Craig Young. Kenny Arthur, thanks very much, lads. Plenty in 36 in already. Thanks a lot, lads. Remember and hit the like button. That's it. Oh, what did you think? I bet I'd get out of jail care to play today again, wouldn't it? But just as I said to you, Jerry, every week it's two totally different halves of a game of football. One half we seem to be doing well, another half are absolutely garbage. But that first half was absolutely. I've said, I don't know how many times I've said it. I've said it about 3 or 4 times. It's like some of the worst performances I've seen a Celtic team in years this season. 45 minutes.
Aye. I know we said it. We were abysmal, absolutely abysmal that first half, and I couldn't see where the result was going to come from. But I was ready to smash the TV, Mark. I wasn't even going to reply to any of these messages. I thought, here we go. We're going out here with a whimper when they fight. I just felt the first half of a slow. They were letting our defenders play, and I thought all these teams have got us sussed out. They prepare to let our defenders have the ball and then try and play a pass into midfield and then just smother us and just hit us in the break at speed, and we can't cope. But we were playing that high line with no pace at the back as well, so it was always bound to going to happen, get caught. But the first half was horrific, but I'm not wanting to get too carried away because it seems like every game we keep saying, "Oh, this will be a turning point. This will be a turning point." So it was a right good performance in the second half. It was a lot better. However, it's no use turning up for one half of a game. We've got to do that for 90 minutes. Brett, you heard Rodgers' interview after the game, and he said, "Oh, it was." To me, he was a wee bit dismissive for the fact that it's been happening since the start of the season. He said, "Oh, this has been going on since kind of the start of the season, but it's not good enough. Just being able to play one decent half, play one shite half, because the way things are going, the game could be ours at half time, and we got out of jail today, and I'm not going to get carried away. However, it was a lot better in the second half."
What about you, Terence? What did you make it?
Very similar to what Jerry's saying there, Mark. I mean, I didn't think it was possible to be any worse than they were, but that's probably one of the worst 45 minutes of football I've ever seen from Celtic. They couldn't pass it 10 yards, like. You know, it was abysmal to watch. And similar to Jerry, like, going in 1-0 down, you're thinking, like, this is done. Like, I mean, we said there before I came on, the young lads turned McGregor, he left him for dead. He nearly had to buy a ticket to get back in, like.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? The same as a 17-year-old. And I'm not trying to keep going on about the same guy, but, like, they took off a Water who was, I thought, did a decent job for what he was. He broke up play. He made a few passes. McGregor is anonymous in the games. Now, O'Reilly wasn't much better, but O'Reilly's been decent this season. McGregor has been. If McGregor wasn't the captain and it wasn't Callum McGregor, he wouldn't be playing. We'd all be saying he should be out of the team.
Yep.
And I hate saying it, but he has been dreadful. But they got out of jail big time. But it's amazing to see, Mark, when what we've all been saying here, and lads in the live chat, and lads in the forum, and lads in everything, all of a sudden a winger comes on, and obviously whatever the instruction was, it's completely different to what it was all year. Now, he hardly once tried to beat his man. Every time the ball came to him, first time crosses. And if you look at two of the Celtic goals, the second and the third goal were both from those crosses. It was a brilliant header, this first one. But the second one, Yang the ball is played into space. He doesn't take a touch. He just drills it across the box. And Ida gets a great touch in it. And, they same with the second one. And we could have had another one or two. I mean, Maeda missed one that was harder to miss than it was to score.
Yep. And
he had another chance as well. So, like, surely the template has to be, the tempo was way quicker the second half. They were way more direct as to getting the wings, and the wings, when they were getting it in space, it was first time. It was none of this trying to cut it back and take on 4 or 5 men or do whatever they were doing. So, like, it was chalk and cheese to first and second half. But like Jerry said there, you can't get carried away from it because you don't know what Celtic's going to turn up the next game.
It was as if we were scared. See the first half? It was as if we were scared and we didn't know what to do. I mean, the second half, it was crying out for us for the winger and to try and keep men wide. But we were having players coming in, and Taylor he was kind of making overlapping runs in the second half instead of coming inside. The goal came from being outside. Coon's just a waste of a jersey. You know what, right players off, but I'm trying to freeze the TV to zoom in to see if that was Michael Johnson in disguise, because he was honking. And we got our goals because Yang played as a winger and stayed outside, and he was getting the balls quicker into the box. We were a bit more direct and a bit more quicker. But see this slow kind of passing, it's killing us. We've got to, a few of the times Scales came forward with the ball, but he's getting too close up to his man. That's what you want. You want him to take the ball forward, but he's getting too close to his man before he's trying to make passes and then cutting down his angles and his options. So, sorry, on you go, mate.
So you made a very good point there, though, a while ago there, Jerry. Like, by Scales coming out with the ball the way he's doing it, and I don't understand it, but the problem is when Scales does come out, we're leaving one defender back with their forward. And when Celtic do lose the ball, which is quite regularly because Scales may misplace a pass or they lose the ball, all of a sudden the opposition are playing one pass, counter-attack pass into space, and all of a sudden we're on the back foot chasing back. I don't understand this centre-back thing driving the ball forward. I just don't. And I can understand them coming out with it. But when you've got three midfielders, they need to be... Like, I looked in the first half. Awata was looking for the ball all day. Now, he mightn't have always got it, but he was presenting himself for the ball all day. The second half, that wasn't the case. And the other point is, as well, is you were saying, right, you were dead right about the wingers. But if our wingers stay out like the way they were, like Yang in particular was, he drags the fullback out. The old style, the previous way we're playing, we're allowing their fullbacks to be nearly like 3 or 4 centre backs because they just all tuck in. Whereas this way, we're giving a bit more space to the guys on the inside. You know, it's not 4-on-1. It's maybe 2-on-1 or something like that.
Yep. But it's the wonderful cross by Taylor for the goal and a fantastic finish by Big Ida. But the first half, it was just nothing, absolutely nothing was going right whatsoever. The passing was shocking. We looked, nobody had any composure in the ball, crossing, shooting, the whole lot. It looked as if we were frightened and nobody wanted the ball. And I thought, here we go. We're going to go out. Our bottles went. But last week, the last game, Rodgers' substitutions killed him. But this week, they've saved his bacon because I think there would have been hysteria if we had dropped points the other day.
If it was done, if they dropped points today.
Aye, 100%. Definitely. However, this is, we can't keep saying, this will be a turning point. They've really got to stand up and be counted now. And really, the next game, Dundee, get the points, but beat them by a few goals.
They have to fight, though, Jerry. And there was no fight in the first half at all. Like
that's the problem. It was none of them were standing. In the first half, there was absolutely no fight for any of them. No. But Yang and Ida have led the way. The big boy Ida's led the way. That second half and shown them what a bit of fight can do. And the way he played that position, fantastic. Big
guy's got to start on Wednesday, hasn't he?
I've got to. I'm still dubious about if Kyogo was injured or not.
What gets said? I don't even know what gets said about it.
No, well, Rodgers had basically said that he kind of wanted a different option the way we were going to play. So that was the reason, the substitution. But this whole palaver with Kyogo's shoulder should be taken. The option should be taken out of his hands. I know he doesn't want to go for the operation and it's his body, but see at the end of the day, see if it's affecting his performances and all the rest of it going forward. Then Celtic have got to say to him, look, we can't risk it. We can't.
I know it's just say, Jerry, it's his body, but Celtic's got to have an input on that.
As you say, Mark, he who pays the piper plays the tune.
You can't just keep saying, we'll just gamble with it. Do you know what I mean? Just keep gambling with it.
Yep.
These 2 seconds, just Chris Fraser, I think that boy. Did you say you're from Houston, Texas, mate? I saw that earlier on. Thanks very much for joining us, mate. Nice to see you.
His last comment and all there, I hope he's right. He said something about Ida win Celtic the league, and I hope to God he's right. Because I'll be looking out to Houston to party if it's true. One of my sisters are there as well.
I mean, see if I saw somebody put up he scored a goal every 58 minutes.
Aye.
I know that's just stats. Do you know what I mean? We used to hang with Giacomakis, didn't we? When it was all look where the goals he scored and for the amount of times the minutes he's played, and even how many goals was it he scored with his first touch of the game? 11 or 12 in a row or something, was it?
Aye, Giacomakis, aye.
Aye. No, I mean, I know we all laughed at this big guy when he came in, but I mean, he scored a few goals.
He's leading the way, mate. He's leading the way. He's got a bit of fight.
I'm not saying buy him to replace Kyogo, but if we're reshaping the striker department in the summer, what I've seen for the guy, I'd take him as your kind of third choice striker, no bother fighting for the second spot kind of thing.
Yep. His whole play is excellent. His whole play is excellent. So he brings players into play, something that, with the greatest respect, that's not Kyogo's forte. Whereas Ida, he's an outlet for a ball as well. If you need to play it up the line, he can hold it up and wait for the midfielders to get up. They don't with the greatest respect, I was gave him a backing, but he seems to have completely fallen off. Kyogo isn't that type of striker, so you do need that kind of striker. You need a plan B like it was today.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And that
Definitely.
needs to be there. You know what I mean? That you can say, right, we'll go a little bit more direct because it works. You know?
He held that boy off and turned him fantastic. The boy to get booked and they looked at the VAR check. That was fantastic. And it's just a shame he couldn't get a shot off. But he's done well in the games that he's played. I don't think, as Mark said, I don't think he's going to be a striker that's going to get you the 25, 30 goals a season. He's a different option. He's a good option to have. He's a willing runner. He'll work his socks off, and he's as strong as an ox. So total different for Kyogo, and it's a different option to have, and it's a good option to have. So
never on right to Texas there, Jerry.
Superb.
Jerry, you and the boys are more than welcome to come to Houston, Texas.
You might want to delete that line there, Chris, fairly quickly.
I like this guy. Get him on. So no, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to see for the big man because, as I say, he's leading the line. He done really well, but the rest of them, I mean, Calmack and all the rest of them, have got to stand up and take a leaf out of his book. It was a bit cringy in that when that big guy that came in and we were all mumping and moaning. Thinking of Norwich, his third choice striker, can he get a game with him? But he's come up here and he's done well. So, and he's got a point to prove. So, fair play to him. And I seen, just getting back to that, Bobby, don't even get back talking about that clown's message about McInnes earlier on. That was frightening. I couldn't believe it, man. So the guy was asking for talk about McInnes maybe being a replacement for Rodgers because he can work on a shoestring budget and good tactics. Frightening.
Do you not think we're in enough trouble as it is now?
Oh, mate, this is the kind of things that happen when you're everybody's losing the plot. They can't think straight. At half time, old boys TV nearly ended out in the front garden because I thought I couldn't see what we were going to do. But need to calm down, take one game at a time and see how we got on.
It's hard though, Jerry, when you watch some of that, like, you know what I mean? Like, we've all said it on here, myself, Mark, JFP, who's ever been on it, Michael. You don't mind per se losing. They didn't lose today. You don't mind losing, but once you put in a performance in a fight, because some days it's just not going to be your day. But when you're watching what you're watching for the last number of weeks and months, and particularly that 45 minutes today, when you're looking at a team and going, right, I expect them to fly out of the blocks because they know they need a win. They know they need to win, and ideally they know they need to score a couple of goals if they could, but they definitely need a win. It was the complete polar opposite. It was you swear Motherwell were Celtic. It was completely passive. It was just. I was like you, Jerry. After 45 minutes, I was like, well, this is done. This is done. I couldn't see any way back. Like, George, it's just terrible that there wasn't a fight in them. Like,
I know it's, but we can't just leave it to the second half or have one good half. We've got to. I was looking for us to come out straight away because of the way things had went yesterday with them, and the way things I thought they were going to come out straight away and just go for it, hammer and tongs, and hit them early and hit them quick. But it never happened, and then they get their goal. Calmack get, as you say, turned inside out. But he's 17. He's a kid, and I think he's got to be a wonderful player. And that's somebody I hope we've got our eye on. That Lennon Miller. Turn Calmack inside out and then they get the goal and you think, here we go again, man, what is happening here? What is going on? But we go there and then we got to win.
I was talking to Terence last night and I said to him the day's game, it was a big kind of test as Cal McGregor is like the captain for. I mean, he came out publicly and he said that basically him and guys like Greg Taylor and that read the riot act in the dressing room. So you were looking for what you're saying there, Jerry. You were looking for a reaction for the players to come out the traps flying.
Aye.
That first, I mean, just what we saw that first half was diabolical. There's no other word for it. Even Jabber, big man. Dr. Strangelove, nice to see you again, buddy.
Yep.
I think McGregor needs to have a quick word with himself.
I mean,
Is he-
he's not getting any younger, there.
No, he's
still
not. He's
playing,
not.
playing every game for us, every game for Scotland. You know, and it must be. I mean, it must be taking his toll on it. I mean, I'm actually hoping. I mean, what is he now, 30, 31 or something like that? I'm hoping that after these Euros with Scotland announces his retirement for the international picture. I mean, I've got any interest in it or nothing, so I'd rather Celtic players didn't play for their international teams. But I think McGregor retiring for Scotland would give him a power of good. Do you know what I mean? There's that many international breaks through the season. That's giving him a wee bit of time to recuperate and get his feet up and that.
Yeah,
Done
but he's been miles off
world of
it.
good.
He's been miles off it this season, Mark. Apart from one or two, maybe the games against them, he's been miles off it. That's me, my own opinion, but he's been miles off the McGregor of last season and the season before.
Oh, it's nowhere near. No, he definitely knows effective. You know what I mean? Definitely no. That's how I said to the wee thing when Rodgers said he'd moved him to play in a more dynamic position terms. Do you know what I mean? You're like, where are we going to see that?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Taylor had a decent enough game the day of it.
He did couple of loose passes, but so did everyone else. Like Awata was probably the best player on the pitch until Ida came on, in my opinion. That's again only my opinion. I thought he done what he had to do. He looked for the ball. He made the simple pass every time, and he was there to help the defence majority of times. I thought Awata had a solid game now today, I have to say.
Who's that, Terence Awata?
Yeah, I thought he had a good game, Mark. I did.
Oh, I definitely. Yeah,
But I was listening to someone else afterwards. I was listening to.
Oh, you go there.
Sorry, I was listening to something as well there today, and some crowd were hammering up Awata, saying he was very poor. He was way too far forward in the first half. He was out of position. As I said, you watch little clips of people saying different things. Like I can't believe it. I keep going on to myself. I thought he had a really good game. The other two lads in midfield, unfortunately, McGregor and O'Reilly, were very poor. They were right out. Now O'Reilly has been excellent all season, but he was poor again today. He was, whereas obviously, as I said, McGregor, keep repeating myself, has been terrible pretty much all season.
O'Reilly's head's been turned. He's not been the same since that offer's come in. He's been
the Atletico Madrid one. Like, yeah, he has. You're right, Jerry. To be fair,
he's whether somebody's been in his ear or it's what I don't know. I mean, a young man. I'm trying to say you can understand, but I dare say I think he's definitely not been the same player since that news of that offer came in. Calmack's been poor all season, bar the 2 games against the Monkeys.
I think maybe McGregor spat it on me because Atletico Madrid weren't in for him.
Aye, any excuse. No, I think he's just been rank rotten. He's been poor since the start of the season, so he's not got a leg to stand on. O'Reilly was good the first half of the season. Calmack's been poor. Awata deserves a chance. But I thought, as I said,
I'd even say Bernardo's showing up more than McGregor.
What's that?
I'd even say Bernardo's showing up more than McGregor.
I think so. But as I say, it's if McGregor wasn't the captain and been over the course with Rodgers before, I think he would have been dropped before now. And we were all been. Let's talk about the lineup. Nobody can have guessed that lineup, did they?
I don't think so. No.
So, no, it's Awata for me had a good game. One of the guys in our bus chat had put in after about half an hour, what's Awata? Why is Awata playing? But nobody responded to him because I thought to myself, what game are you watching? Because I'm like you, Terry. I thought he was the best of a bad lot. None of them were fantastic the first half, but he was kind of the better of the bad lot. But no, on to the second half, and there is a lot of positives to take from it. It showed a bit of character, a bit of steel to come back. We switched our play up. We changed. Rodgers at least made the correct subs and got them playing a kind of different way. They've just got to play that way every game now. They can't just pick and choose when they're going to turn it on and turn it off.
Big time. But the tempo, though, for me, Jerry, in the second half, and yourself, Mark, the tempo in the second half was like visibly way quicker. it was very noticeable to see how they got the ball to feet and they got it out to the wings and they got it forward a hell of a lot quicker than they did for the majority of the games we've seen previous to this, where it's really, really slow. And the wingers, as I said, Yang in particular, was getting the ball in first time. Even as Jerry pointed out a while ago, the cross, Taylor's cross for Wata or for Ida, a fantastic header. But it's they're getting it in early. They're not allowing the defence to get set like.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one for me. Like,
getting it down and getting it into the box early. But we've said it before. See the ball that Taylor put in for a goal. I know it sounds ridiculous. You can't put the type of balls in the box for Kyogo. Yeah. So they're trying to play round about them. Because of that, I mean, they had like 3 centre halves. The way they were separated, there was 3 of them kind of on our one guy up front, and they've got monsters at the back. Motherwell. So there's no unless it's a quick ball to the front post, and I'm getting across his man. Kyogo was unlucky with the ball. It was a wonderful pass by McGregor in the first half, and Kyogo was a bit unlucky. But apart from that, it was.
If you look in the second half, the lads, like, I know what you're saying, Jerry, but if you look at the second half, Yang puts in a cross that I'm not sure how Moyeda missed, and I still don't know how he missed it. He missed another good chance.
But if it bounced off him.
Yeah, he missed another good chance. He blazed it over. But Ida's goal is the second goal. It's a quick ball. It's a good finish. And again with Palma's finish, it's a quick ball in across the box from Johnson. They're the kind of balls if Kyogo is playing that he needs.
Yep.
As well, like, you know what I mean? And obviously Ida's showing that he's a good striker, a great hitter and a great first time finish. But most strikers would prefer the ball in quick and with least amount of defenders there. The way we've been playing up to now, even if Ida was there in the first half, I don't think he'd have had any joy either, because it was so pedestrian. It wasn't even funny, like.
Yep. But we changed it up. The second half was a lot better, so we can only take the positives for that.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Somebody was going on about that young boy. I can't remember who it was. That Lennon Miller, going on about him. I hope to goodness we could maybe, as I said, get him signed up and maybe loan him back out. He's not going to get in our first team now. That was Rod Petal or Petal, whatever it is. Get him signed up, hopefully. Because I think he's got to be a right first-class wee player. We'll wait and see.
I didn't know that was Lee Miller. I didn't know he was Lee Miller's son.
Aye, he's Lee Miller's boy. Mulgrew was talking him up after the game. Mulgrew was quite good with his analysis after the game about how Celtic played and all the rest of the character and talking up that young boy. So that was decent. He shut that other fat tramp that was next to him up anyway. He must have been absolute spewing. Can you imagine what the monkeys were like after 90 minutes on their houses jumping about?
I know.
Aye. So
I saw some screenshots for that following that on Twitter and that. Aye, they were all bailing.
Aye, okay. Wives getting blooming battered out of the camp for that. That was scandalous.
Yeah, Arsene. Where did that go here? I missed it. Yeah, Arsene.
Swap him
for Coon. I don't think Motherwell would entertain that.
Nah.
It's bad, isn't he? I mean, really bad. I mean, Palmer. But when Palmer came in, he looked the part. He showed up well, but he's been garbage the last few months. No denying that. But it's a case of, we'll get back to playing the way we saw you at the start when you came in. We know that you can do it. You know what I mean? We know that you can do it. But if Coons came in, you know what I mean? You're not seeing anything that you could turn when you said, give the boy a chance.
Thing is, he was when he first came in, he was saying, he likes to dribble past or beat a man and get the ball into the box. But he can't do it. You've seen that chance he had, and he was a wee bit more direct, but he couldn't get away for the guy. We were all told he was this speed merchant and loves a dribble and loves to get by his man and get the ball into the box. He couldn't get away for that boy if his life depended on it. And he seems scared. He seems just, when he gets the ball, he doesn't want to try and take a man on and beat him. He just wants to get the ball and pass inside or pass back. But don't be wrong, that's the way we've been playing a lot of the season. But you'd have thought the minute if you're a winger, you're getting the ball, you want to try and beat your man and head to the byline or flipping head towards goal and try and have a pop at goal. But I don't know. It's to me, it's been a terrible signing for £3 million, and it's one that apparently Rodgers he was the one supposedly said that he wanted him. Now if that's the kind of player or the eye for the player he's got, God help us, no one other ever gave him any more money in January to spend.
But insane. Well, obviously, and your man's got a 5-year deal. But in saying that as well, Jerry, I would still question. I know he's been very, very poor, no question about it. But I would still question where was he on the list? Because I'd be very surprised if he was 1 or 2, or even 3,
Aye, no. To say, Lord help us if he was.
But whoever scouted him from the scouting department, like you would nearly kind of go, listen, pal, I'm not sure you can do your job. If you think he's what we need, and you watched him and you think he's a good player, I think you should be applying for that job in that production factory.
Tell me that.
That's true what Maestro's saying there, but the lads, he's come into a team that's, we've been playing garbage, let's not be kidding. To give him time, Yang was slated too. That is a fair point. Maybe it's just taking a bit of time to settle in. And we said the team's playing garbage, so we can't just pick out this new signing and blame it all on him.
More importantly, tell me this. This is off topic, but is that if that's Chris Fraser's wife, tell me and book a flight the now, I'll come over. Have you seen her? He's full picture. Who? Chris Fraser.
How do you know it's not a female? You gender. You need to be careful. That's kind of like Gary, there's this political correctness stuff. You can't be guessing people's gender or that. Maybe her name's Christine.
Oof. Aye, I'll be at the house in a flash, no bother. Win the league, lose the league, or whatever. Aye, I'm early. So, aye, no.
That's Chris Fraser CSC now.
Sorry, back to football. What were we talking about there? I get
about Kuhn. But the only thing I would say to Mark is, in regards to it, is that Yang wasn't great either, but he did have a couple of spells where he did show a bit. Your man hasn't really shown anything at all, even when Yang came in at the start, he had a couple of good games. You thought, okay, he's not too. This guy's got a little bit about him. He went to take on his man Yang did a lot of times. Maybe overdone it a few times, but there was certainly 1 or 2 games at Parkhead where he played, and he played exceptionally well. I know the Aberdeen game where they hammered him 6-0, I think it was. He had a very good game that day, and he tore them inside out. So that's the only thing I would say. Your man hasn't. Even if your man had a few runs or done a few things, like Jerry has alluded to there, he does come across as he's afraid to try and take on the man, or and like that he was supposed to have searing pace, you're not seeing any of these things that he's supposed to have had,
And that's what Rodgers kind of hinted at the other day. But in terms of what you're saying, the players they need to get confidence in themselves and try and death. I sent you the link about what he was saying in that, and it's basically for me. It's as if he was basically saying there's too many players out there that they're too scared to do anything. They just want to, and that's what we've spoke about. That it's as if they're scared to try and do anything in case they make a mistake. So just turn and pass it 3 or 4 years back away you're just to the side and stuff like that. Is it a bit of apprehension to just have a go?
Yep, I never seen that, but see the day that first half, that's exactly the way it looked. As if they were too frightened to try and get the ball down and do something. And as you say, it's for fear of making a mistake. It's the easy option, just get the ball and pass it backwards or pass it sideways. But it's
like I don't want to be the guy to lose it.
Exactly. And that's some of that possession-based football is push. It's even for the first half taking shies. Back to all that flipping dancing about, waiting to try and get a man to.
I noticed that a couple of times.
What's happened here, man? We used to get the ball and bang the man there and try to get the ball forward and all the rest of it. But I know I don't want to sound like a broken record and harp on about all the negative stuff for the first half, but it seems like there's a kind of common pattern developing, but they definitely looked frightened in that first half, as if nobody wanted to take control and have a bit of let's bottle and take put their foot in the ball and get something going, get something happening.
I'm not using it as an excuse either for anything like anything bad with Celtic or that today, but I mean, we've bummed it up before and said how good it looked, but the pitch at Fir Park didn't look too healthy today. And I'm only bringing that up for the simple reason we've said it umpteen times on here. It's one of the best looking pitches in Scotland, but I thought it looked a bit totty fieldish today. There was a few baldy patches in that.
Somebody did put a picture on somewhere. I seen it, and it did look. It looked like my hairline, so it was looking a bit patchy, but it has looked fantastic, but we can't use the pitches. It's the pitches the same for both teams.
No, I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm just saying.
No. I'm saying, mate,
it looks and just today didn't look as good as it has.
Yep.
I just think someone has obviously said at half time, lads, they've basically got nothing to lose. In the second half, they couldn't have, because I mean, someone has had to turn around and go, look, lads, we lose here or we draw here. No, I'm saying one of the players, we're done. Like we need to at least go out fighting, like, because it was chalk and cheese the two halves, and do you know what I mean? Chalk and cheese, and like you said there a few minutes ago, Mark, like from now on, certainly going forward for the time being, you'd have to start Ida as your main striker. Do you know?
Aye.
I mean, you know, and you just have to say to them, look, lads, I know it's easier said than done, but you need to just that second 45 minutes. That's what I'm looking from me. That's what I want you to do. You know, and a lot of it is basics: ball into space, first time balls into the box. You know, so a bit of fight, a bit of battle about you. You know, I mean, they got away with one today, big time. But like you alluded to, Jerry, and you can't keep playing 45 minutes. You're not going to get away with it. You're just not going to get away with it. And you can be guaranteed we've Dundee during the week. And next weekend, the other crowd obviously left their first team squad at home the weekend and sent their B team or the women's team to Ibrox. So they'll be mad for Road to try and turn Celtic over, like.
Aye. Look, we just need to say, a couple of them have said we need to worry about ourselves, and I think we'll see off Dundee, no bother, on Wednesday. I think Hearts is the Tynecastle's always a kind of difficult game. They'll be definitely looking to take points off us, but we've got the players. We're more than capable winning both games, no problems at all. It's up to us. And somebody had said today, see, once that second goal went in, it looked as if there was a total weight had been lifted off their shoulders. It was total relief, and it would have been. It was relief for all of us. We know what it was like. So I think we'll be their Henke 6-0 on Wednesday. If only, my man. If only. So we'll wait and see. Wait and see what happens.
Just want the attitude to be right.
Pardon?
You just want them to come out with the right attitude.
Of course.
And play with courage. That's what I would say. Come out, play with courage. You're playing with Celtic for a reason. They're playing with Dundee for a reason, with the greatest respect. You know what I mean? So you need to realise that the guy that's marking you're a better player than him. Majority of times, you're the better player than him. But they need to come out with belief that they can do exactly what they've done in the second half, play to that tempo, because they could have scored 3 or 4 goals in the second half. You know, that's just have to have that belief and attitude coming into the game. That's what they have to take from the 45 minutes today. Forget about the first 45, but the second half they have to take that and take that going forward, in my opinion.
Other teams are feeding off our kind of lack of confidence as well. We're giving teams confidence. They're coming to play against us and they're thinking they can actually get a result because of some of the performances we've put in. But we need to get back to between
actually the performances we've put in, Jerry, and the way you press and all that's going on about how we're in a crisis and stuff like that. Players are turning. Other opposition teams are turning up and they believe that's in their head. Oh, we
Yep.
read all week Celtic are, do you know what I mean? Celtic are in a crisis, that we could have a chance here today, and that gives them a wee bit of a lift even above and beyond.
Yep. I mean, Rodgers alluded to his interview afterwards, that the stories in the papers, the headlines have already been written and how the season's going to end. So I'm hoping that he's got this team fired right up. I mean, that, for me, that second half saved his job. Because if we drop points there, you'd be looking for him to get a bullet tomorrow. However, we won. So we don't need to worry about that. We'll beat Dundee on Wednesday comfortably. And hopefully, again, I'm going to say it, this is a springboard we're going to kick on. But I think I must have said this about 6 or 7 times now this season.
But to get in there on Wednesday, good performances, for me, that's even a bit more important.
Yep.
John Coyle, we're in a crisis. We're in a crisis at all. We're 2 points behind. You know what I mean? We've got 11 games to go now. You know what I mean?
We've dropped a hell of a lot of points, Mark, though.
Aye, but what do people want? I mean,
7
people
points
going
in front.
well, see when there was no competition in the league, they shut the top tiers at Celtic Park. Now there's a bit of competition in the league, and all of a sudden we're in a crisis and everything's gone Pete Tong and all sorts.
I'd agree with you, Mark. I wouldn't say it's a crisis. I'd say it's just a massive dip in form. And I think where it is none of us can understand why. That's why everyone is baffled, because if it's a crisis, Celtic don't have whatever it was 85 million in the bank, and do you know what I mean? And we're 20 points behind Rangers. That's where you kind of go, okay, there's a problem here. We're still in the league. We have been playing as bad as we could possibly play. Yes, they've blown an 8-point lead, no question about it. But I wouldn't say it's a crisis, but I would say it's something that we can't understand how it's actually turned around so badly.
It's just everything. But it's just because we've had everything so easy for the last 12 years now. Really, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I think a lot of Celtic fans just think we just need to turn up. We'll win every game 3 or 4-0, and we'll just stroll to this title every season. And now that there's a bit of challenge there, everybody, well, not everybody, but a hell of a lot of Celtic fans have shat the bed.
Yeah.
And it's, as well too, Mark, you have to obviously remember that we said it as well. So many players have regressed so far this season. Alistair Johnson looks like he's a twin brother. He looked brutal today. You know, Greg Taylor played solid today, but he has been struggling. McGregor has been terrible. O'Reilly was probably the only one all season that you could say was a pass. You know, Kyogo has been desperate as well.
Well, that shows we're practically back to full strength now, because I think, as we said, I don't know if you've seen that before we come on there. I think Rodgers has basically said he's I don't think he's hoping, or he's not sure when Hatate is going to be back, if he's back for the split or no. So we can't really be relying on him. That's Vickers back, AJ's back. Abad will be written off, I think, for the rest of the season as well. So we're near enough back to full strength. So we should hopefully have no more excuses left.
Well, there are no excuses, Jerry. I mean, the squad, it's Celtic. It's the squad. That squad should be strong enough, regardless of the player. And I know people will argue the point that the squad players in that team should be strong enough to beat any of the other teams in Scotland. Simple as that. Yep. And you know what I mean? If a guy's good enough to be on the Celtic bench, he'd make any of the other sides. Simple as that.
Yep.
So I don't sometimes hear, like, yes, you can argue the point that Cohen fella isn't up to the level at the minute, and I'd agree with that, and some of the other guys are fair enough. I'm going back to what I'm saying, but for the large part, the likes of Yang, Maeda, O'Reilly, all these boys, when they're coming up, if they're coming on or coming off, Ida, they're good enough to win a game. Like, you know, they're good enough to win a game, and that's what we have to go with now. Whatever we have, we have. that's you can argue the board should have done more beforehand, but they haven't. But this is where we are now, and this is the players going forward that we have to believe in, and they have to produce performance after performance after performance after performance.
Yep.
And that's as easy as that.
Tell me this, do any of you think that was a penalty with a handball? I know it's not picking, but you think it was a penalty with a handball with a Motherwell boy?
Well, they gave a handball against Maeda, or a free kick against Maeda a few minutes later. So you've seen him given. You've definitely seen him given.
It was just
I was surprised that VAR didn't check it.
Aye.
Well, I know VAR checked, but I was surprised they didn't call the ref out to check it.
Yep.
It wouldn't be surprised if it was given.
No, it's one of the ones you've seen them given. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was up the other end of the park, we'd have been like, no, it was a penalty. You know what I mean? Because it's Celtic, but it's one of the ones, because it's against us, you would say, you're taking it, kind of thing.
Well, my had one similar, Mark, in the middle of the field where the guy went to clear it and he lashed off his arm. And it's a free kick, yeah, fair enough. But they probably don't give that if it's or they dubiously might give that if it's in the penalties. What I'm saying, when it's out the field, they can blow straight away and give it no problem. But yeah, I was surprised as well that they didn't look at it more clearly. Put it like this, maybe other teams will get that call.
Aye. I will definitely. For me, it was a bit dodgy. His hand was outside his kind of body, and as you say, you've seen it given. You'd have gone daft if it was against you, but I wouldn't have been surprised. We'd have get it against us. Put it that way.
Yeah. Aye. You wouldn't be surprised if it was at Ibrox it would have been given.
Aye.
Oh, hands down.
Aye. Definitely. Whose sound is it? Is away now, Marco? Is it mine again?
Who's on hold on now.
It could be mine because I was talking and it was kind of going up and down. It sounded like it anyway.
I think it was your turn, but it seems to be all right now.
Aye,
I don't know because I've nothing opened. I've only just the normal whatever the thing you sent me to click into the link. Like,
aye, it sounds all right. I couldn't hear anything really anyway, but somebody said that it was all right now. It sounded as if you were in a submarine.
Yes, it did. Yeah, it did all right.
He's coming across the water. Aye. What's your thoughts? How do you think you'll line up on Wednesday night?
Well, I think the defence will be
what finished?
No, see, because it's Dundee, we'll maybe play Ralston. You know what I mean? Again, hopefully we're going to be more front foot, but Ralston's a lot better going forward. And I actually thought Ralston would have started today, to be honest, because just what you said, Jerry, AJ's not really been doing much the last few games. Aye. I think Carter, Vickers, Scales and Taylor, the right back, it will probably be Johnson, but I would go with Ralston. Yep. And then the midfield three, I would stick with what he went with today.
What you started with?
Aye, Awata, McGregor and O'Reilly. Because let's face it, he's not going to drop out McGregor, we know that. Or is he going to think, we're at home, it's only Dundee, so we could just even, do you know what I mean, go with McGregor, O'Reilly and Bernardo. But it's more wingers. I mean, I think definitely for me, Young's got to start. 100% he's got to start. And the same with Ida, however you pronounce it, he's definitely starting for me as well. But again, it's hard to second guess Rodgers, isn't it? Because sometimes he throws things in there that you don't expect, and other times he doesn't change anything. You're questioning that.
Aye.
What about you? Who would you go for?
I think you're right, mate. I think I would go with that. Is that boy Beck still with them? Did he get back to them after playing in that cup game for Liverpool?
Aye, he's back at Dundee. Yeah. Aye.
So he's a decent wee left back. So it'll be interesting to see how Yang or Maeda got on against him, because he's got a bit of pace as well. But all in all, I don't think you'll be too far away with that team, Mark. I think it'll be the same back four it's finished. Awata done for me. I thought he was the best out the three of them, so I would start him again. But as you've said, I wouldn't be surprised if we went with Bernardo, because I think it's Dundee and we should be going for it and be able to pass them off the park and beat them comfortably, and then finish with Ida up front, Maida and Yang on either side. I think that's what the way it'll go. But it's wild that we're this stage.
It'll be criminal if Yang doesn't start on Saturday after what he done the day.
He won't start.
I mean, fair play to the lad. For me, it was him. He was the game changer. I know Ida scored the 2 goals and that, but for me, it was Yang. It was a game changer the other day.
Yep. I can't see him starting it, Mark.
You don't think so, Ter?
No, I don't.
You're fishing, Stevie. Thanks very much for joining us, mate. See you later on. Good night.
See you later, Stevie. Hail.
No, I don't. I think the same back four that you said there that finished the game. The reason I think Iwata has to play, and I can understand the logic. What you're saying is, if they're saying Iwata's short of match fitness, surely you play him at home to Dundee and get as much fitness into him as possible. If that's the reason he was taken off, because what's the point in playing Bernardo and then leaving him on the bench? He's not getting any match fitness, which is what you need when if you're playing away at the Hearts. They are going to need that CDM. So I'd start Iwata. If I was Rodgers, I'd start Iwata. The normal three that you said, McGregor, O'Reilly. I think he's going to go. Myself personally, I think he's going to go Maeda, Palma, and Ida. I don't think he's going to start Yang.
All right. See,
not that I think he shouldn't. This is the team I think he will start, not the one I think should start.
Yang, John Coyle said that
as long as it's no Kuhn starting, I'll be quite happy.
John Coyle had said that about Yang plays better coming for the bench, and I think he does as well. Bar that Aberdeen game, I think he's turned up better coming off the bench.
But is that not just maybe part of his kind of like integration the word into the team kind of thing? You know what I mean? Part of getting him up to speed and part of the actual first team, not just the kind of squad coming off.
I don't know, man. Look at Haksabanovic. He was shite starting, but was always better. A lot better coming off the bench.
Well, Yang has struggled to mark in games when he started. I mean, even particularly one of the European games, he had an awful game. I think it was against Atletico Madrid. I could be wrong now if that's the wrong one, but he had a nightmare. He started he started a few games and he hadn't quite lit the stage up, and we had commented kind of going, oh, he's really struggled. Maybe some players are just like your Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well, they come in and they do the 25 minutes and they seem to score, they make an impact, and if that's what Yang has, and he can come on for half an hour, whatever is 45 minutes, and produce a performance like that, then I'm all on for him coming on for his substitution appearances all the time.
James, that's a good point that James has made that you've highlighted, Mark. To have a settled 11 is very scandalous. But it's
and I know injuries have played a big part in it. Let's not be kidding, but it's still take the injuries. It's still just you can't predict. They've not got a. I mean, let's face it. Whoever were first choice wingers. I mean, even Maeda. Yeah. I mean, I've said it 100 times to our blue in the face. We all can see what Maeda brings to the team, especially against them. And then Tavernier back and that, but when you get the body, it becomes a problem. Do you know what I mean? It's madness. I mean, that Saturday, the head of the day, that was terrible.
That was harder to miss. If it just hit half him anyway, it's getting in.
Yeah.
And then the other chance that comes across the box, all he's got to do is get it and target it's in.
But what I would say as well, Mark and lads, is what you're saying about the team. Like, apart from the back four, which generally within reason you'd kind of have a fair idea, from the midfield up, apart from McGregor and O'Reilly, you could never know who the third midfielder was going to be. He's changed it all season. He's had Holm was in there, Awad has been in there, Turnbull was in there, Bernardo's been in there. And even and the same with the positions of the wing. Kyogo generally had started centre forward within reason, so you named him. But if you're naming the third midfielder and the two wingers, it was like, what names do I have? I'll pick one and see if I'm close. Because it's exactly like the midfield has only had. There's been two O'Reilly and McGregor, the third is A and other, and the same with the two wingers were A and other, and generally speaking, it was Kyogo up front.
Aye.
See you
So
later,
we
Aidan, all
can't
the
get any
best.
stability. Like.
Evening, Estapona boy. Nice to see you again, bud. Thank you. What's up with being a welder? Or
Who's
working
that?
with welders? What's he talking about with welders here at Henky Maravchik? Platers. Right. He's done a typo. Platers
right.
away to Asia Cup.
Yes.
Right, I got you now. Aye.
You're talking about welders. See you later, Aidan, all the best, mate.
Right, good night, Aidan. Thanks for coming in again, bud.
Aye.
The problems with our wingers, nobody takes the chances on a regular basis. They play well one game, get a start. That's it. I mean, really, apart from Magida, we know why he's getting picked and he is the one, but the other one, did you say it there, Terence, you could just pick it random, whoever's playing in the other wing.
Oh,
the
yeah.
other midfielder, do you know what I mean? And it's shocking that I know there's players being out injured and there's players away to the Asia Cup and stuff like that, but now that everybody, I mean, that's us really back to full squad apart from Hatati. And still, none of us could even pick out who our best 11 is, to be honest, could we?
It's like a quick pick in the lotto.
No.
Isn't it?
It's
like a quick pick in the lotto. You just don't know what numbers you're going to get. Like,
it's frightening. But I don't know. What did you make of that thing with that Roger Mitchell? Did you read that?
No, I didn't.
The board clear out.
Aye.
Oh, yes, I did, about the talks of them selling on the shares and all that.
No, I thought he's selling the shit like Desmond was talking about.
Get rid of the board kind of thing.
Aye.
All right, rejuvenated.
Aye. I hope it's no reshuffling, but it's actually getting rid of some folk. Whether it's true, I don't know. I don't know.
He's a bit. He's a bit an attention seeker. That Mitchell. Do you know what I mean? Especially.
Aye.
Because he's not. I mean, he's no. Somebody said on the forum about it. I mean, it was 22 years ago he was running Scottish football. Do you know what I mean? But he'll still have contacts in the game, and he'll still have contacts at Celtic because he is a Celtic supporter. So I think there might be something in it, because I mean, how many times have we spoke about it? Would Desmond run any other company the way he's running Celtic?
No, definitely no.
Do you know what I mean? They need to get just some fresh blood on the board. It's just the same.
They need young blood, man.
And it's I actually didn't know this about it. It was somebody I was talking to the other day, and now we keep going about like Peter Lill being a non-executive thing. We know that. See all these kind of non-executive people we've got on the board. They don't actually have much to do. They don't actually do much.
No, they just come in for a meeting.
Aye, that's the whole point of being a non-executive. We've got other guys, not just Peter Lill. We've got other guys that are non-executive directors. And that it just means, they don't really do much. They don't get much power. They don't get much say or anything.
What's the point in having them?
I've no idea. It's just weird.
It's nearly like boys with the Blazers, if you want to put it for a better way. It's just to be said that, I'm a director of Celtic. You don't do anything. You might turn up for a meeting once a month, or
meetings a year or something that is to have terms. 4 meetings a year.
And they might even be in the main meeting, Mark. They might even be in a subcommittee, if you want to call it like that. Do you know what I mean?
See there, James McGrory saying something there again. See, there's something far wrong with that, James. That the Don Mackay thing. I said that at the time, and I mean, when he left all of a sudden, we questioned that there was rumours that there was like an illness in the family, that he was ill or stuff like that. But he was back in rugby a couple of months after that. And I know there was stories, was it just a couple of weeks? And I know there was stories that that it was because he like sell-on things he'd done and stuff like that was in contracts for the likes of Giacomakis and that's how they left for so little money. But there was other rumours as well that once he came in and looked like, what's the term he used, like looked under the bonnet, that Mackay didn't fancy the way the club was getting run. Which could be another way, and you know what I mean? Either
Well-
or, what would you say is a more believable story? Because it was said as well, Terence, you don't just, it's not as if you're advertising the Daily Record for a CEO for Celtic, you just fire in a CV and get an interview and then you either get the job or you don't. You're bringing in these headhunting companies and there've been umpteen interviews and talks and informal talks and all that before you get into a position like that. And then he goes in there for a matter of months and then the next time he leaves.
Yeah, it's not like you give your own job 2 weeks' notice of I'm heading to become a CEO of a company there next week. Like, 100%, Mark. And the other side of it as well, Mark, is that when you were talking about one of the issues was the whole when they were saying about the contract side of things. Like Michael Nichols is a legal profession. To my knowledge, he's a solicitor, lawyer.
He was a legal guy. Aye.
But his main role in Celtic that I saw before, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, was involved initiating and dealing with the contract talks. Obviously, putting the wording in it and
all sure they're all watertight and aye.
Yeah. So how if McKay is the CEO at the time, Michael Nichols is going to be involved in the discussions for the transfers and going to be involved in McKay isn't going to just go, this is it, like, you know, there's going to be a board of people discussing this, like, so I found this strange as well, like.
It was really, if he wasn't up to the job, you'd have thought they'd have kind of noticed that somewhere along the recruitment process.
See, I had thought he'd get the bump because he was paying like finder's fees for teams or for some agent to get rid of the players. That's what I'd heard, but possibly
but I think that's kind of normal, Jerry. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of backhanders going in football with stuff like that it's just seen as part and parcel of the game, kind of thing.
Look at Bobby trying to get on here first. What he gave you to get in here first. Do you think this squad wins the league? Somebody asked earlier on.
Aye.
We'll find out soon enough.
Aye.
You non-committal there. What's your honest opinion? What do you think, my man?
I said about 2 weeks ago, Jerry, I said I didn't think so.
No.
I genuinely didn't think so. The problem is every game you worry now, whether it's home or away, you can see them dropping points. That's not a Celtic team that you would have ever, when you look at Celtic before, you like a home one would be a banker. Even against them, you'd fancy at home. Whereas now you're going like, Hibs and, for argument's sake, Hibs on Wednesday night, or Aberdeen on Sunday, or Hearts Sunday week or next Sunday, and you're like, oh God, that's a right horrible game. I know Hearts would have been normally, but you're even looking at the Motherwell game now, a team that had won 2-16 or something like that, and you're going, oh, this could be a tricky one. You know what? That's to me, and the players as well, Jerry, they're not oozing confidence coming out of them, or they're just like you said today. Everything is very slow. Everything's very ponderous. I don't know. They just don't seem to have a fight in them. Now, the second half today, thank God, some guys did. But I don't know. I hate saying it, but I don't know. I just think the damage has been done. I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong.
And you, Brian, would jump on straight away shouting yes. Mr. Positivity.
Aye.
We need to take a leaf out of his book, man. I think he's
zened up, pure zened up.
He's like Buddha, isn't he? Whoosh, rubbing the ears. Everything's got to be all right. So I can understand where you're coming from here, but I'm going to stick with Brian and Mark. We're going to do it and ram it right down their throats as well. Please
God, you can ram it down my throat as well. I'd be quite comfortable with that.
Aye, so no.
It's not that way, Mark, for fuck's sake. See if we do win the league, the meltdown after them is going to be hilarious. It's going to be absolutely hilarious, man.
Aye.
I mean, surely it's like, see if you were 2 points in front of them and still playing how poor we were. The Celtic fans that are saying, "Oh, we're not going to win the league, would they still be saying that? Would they be saying, "Oh, we'll win the league"? I mean, Bobby, half time today, that was it. The league's gone.
Aye. He'd Mourinho in the door. With McInnes.
It'd be every goal, do you know what I mean? But that's us 1-0 down, that's it, the league's gone. Still an hour to go in the game in that. Do you know what I mean?
But you couldn't see it though, Mark. Realistically, considering the first half, you're looking at it going,
but they still done it.
Bad is this, like? Oh no, they did do it 100%. But I'm saying when you looked at the first half, you're going like, I can't believe these players have come out with this attitude, with this fight, with no fight. You know, when you're looking at that, like they could have played the first half and really battled and, you know, gone in 1-0 down. It's happened to Celtic before, and you're kind of going, geez, they didn't really deserve to be 1-0 down there. But, you know, second half, they'll definitely turn it around. Yeah, I didn't see it at half time today. I don't know if yourself or Jerry did, but I was looking at it going, this could be curtains here, like. Because I'm looking at it,
I
don't
think anybody was sitting at half time confident. No, I definitely
even Brian
know,
but confident.
But I mean, we stuck again. But again, we had to do it. We had to fight our way back. And I mean,
Mark champions.
But no, obviously a couple of times we've no actually fought ourselves back, but we have still done it quite a lot. We have dug out results when you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh no, I get you.
Just until it's. I mean, as I keep saying, it's only 2 points. We've still to play them twice. For any Celtic fan to write after league day now is just I can't understand it. I really can't.
It's to do with the way they're playing, though, Mark. That's the biggest problem. If they were playing decent football and 2 points behind, you would still say to yourself, there's a long way to go in this yet. But it's just the way they're turning up. Now, again, the second half today, please God. And as Jerry said, what Roger said afterwards about that it's already written where the title's going, so to speak, and all the rest of it. That hopefully that G's them up and they do put in the rest of performances going forward. That's the only reason I'd say people were saying, oh, maybe this is done, because it just didn't look to be a fighting. There's 45 minutes today, maybe, will help you turn around a bit,
Yeah. Well, I'll probably not hear or see the meltdown because I've been hoosting.
Captain Dorsey, and Chris Fraser, Joe, have you picture the wee totally picture? I've got some screenshot.
Aye. Yeah, have you seen that?
Jerry been chased down the road with some fella with a gun.
J.R. Ewan's chasing them down to South Fork.
It's he went to need a draw like a target like John Wayne, man. A sniper's dream, size of me. But no, I think I'm hoping today with his comments and all the rest of it that he can G them up. I seen somebody saying it will struggle against Dundee on Wednesday, but with 12 million miles, if we're going to do that, if we're going to struggle against them. John, you're right. You do need to grind out results to win titles, and that's but doing it's the majority of games, our luck will run out. We'll wait and see.
It's no Houston near Paisley, is it? Is there a Houston near Paisley? I don't know.
Aye, there is, mate. But no, it's not that one. It's Houston, Texas. Or maybe it is Houston, Paisley. He's telling me Texas.
Houston, Texas.
Aye.
See if that's a Lassie, leave her alone, man. That's just Lassie will end up getting creeped out with his own. Let it pack it in. You're sexy maniac. She's Jerry's merit too. He's a merit man.
No for long.
Straight back for him, Chris. Don't get near him.
Well, look, lads, I'm gonna leave you now, and so if someone else wants to come on for a chat, I'm just gonna give a hand to put the small fella to bed, and I'll talk to you later.
No bother. Thanks very much for coming on, bud. Right, good night, mate. Good night.
Good night, boys. Bye.
See you later.
Fire out the link and see if anybody wants to come on.
Aye, quite right.
Martin.
No, it's no Paisley. We're in luck. It's no Paisley.
Wonder where Martin is tonight.
Oh, aye. That was I don't know. That was crackers, man. Another night. They're not going to sign any players for Scotland because wild, mate, wild. Oh. But we'll wait and see. Wait and see what happens. Did you see Roger's interview after the game then?
No, I just read it.
Aye. No, I think
it was a bit. I seen him. He was a bit cut with that Lassie for the BBC.
Oh, I don't know. What did she say?
She can't. she was kind of asking him questions about trying to go on about more like how we were playing the first half and stuff like that, and it just kind of blew it off. And then what was it he said? Good job, Hen, or something like that. Do you know what I mean? It was he just batted it right out the park. He wasn't. These stories the headlines have already been wrote and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yep, but it has, mate. It's they think they've won it. I mean, they were off. As I say, the 90th minute today, they're all jumping for joy and thinking that was it. The league was done. We probably all did as well. But it just shows you how quickly things can turn, and hopefully it could take another turn for Wednesday as well.
I mean, you just said, I've said it to you, I said it to you earlier and that, even I think I said it to Terry as well in a message. How many times have we said, could this be the springboard that turns the corner?
Aye.
But
I know,
I can't even tell you what I was talking about. It was the reaction of the players themselves.
Yep.
At the end of the game. Do you know what I mean? It was as if, for one of the first times, it was as if it was kind of real emotion.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It
looked total relief on Rodgers' face as well. It looked as if I don't know, they're just. I think we're maybe hopefully going to take the turn and go for it on Wednesday night, and hopefully everybody gets behind the team during the game at least, and then boo the board after the game. We'll wait and see what happens.
I mean, still good. I'll tell you, and I say this, and we say it every time we're on as well. See, even if Celtic go and win the double, there's still the same problems still at Celtic.
Of course, but you just hope that these problems don't get forgot about and they paper all the cracks yet again to delay the inevitable. I mean, I was at a walk today and I met a boy and he was talking. He's brand new, but he's one of them, and he was going on about a couple of the players that they had signed, obviously in January, scoring at the weekend. He was going on about, I don't know, one of them. Anyway, he was going on, our director of football for PSV this, and he was saying, he was going on about our director. I said, we've not got a director of football. He's like, what do you mean? I was talking to him, I said, we've not got one. And even he couldn't believe, I didn't realise they had one, to be honest.
But
it just shows you, I mean, how many
they've always had one.
I don't pay much attention to them, but how many so-called big teams are left that don't actually have a director of football?
No money. There isn't many. I've said, even on the forum, guys moan at me because I keep banging on about it. What do we need a director of football and that? And everything that's happened at Celtic over the last few years just proves why we need a director of football.
Of course.
Because managers come and go, but this guy's there long term to oversee the full football department. You know what I mean? There's the guy that's just bought the majority of Man United to take care of them. I mean, the first thing they're doing, they're trying to steal the Newcastle director of football.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? It's just because if you get that right, if you get that appointment right, the rest of the football it trickles down. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a good director of football, managers, coaches, they all come and go, but the director of football is there to keep everything ticking over. And if a new manager comes in, it's seamless. I mean, how do teams like Real Madrid and that, how do the managers come and go, but the team still stay in the top?
Yep.
And it's not just because of the money they've got. It's because there's behind the scenes, although the money's a bit iffy and dodgy how they come about it, but these big teams, the success is continual. It's like a processing plant. It's like you could be the most important guy in your job at your factory, but a good factory could replace you tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? A well-run factory, you could go and leave. You could turn down your notice in a well-run, but not just a factory, any job. They'll replace you next week with somebody just as good, if no better than you. Yep.
Yeah, Chris is coming back telling us he's a Garngad boy, born and bred. Fantastic, mate. I've got family there.
No, we join United Islands. We join United Islands for there.
Aye, big mate Mick Max for there as well. He's still there. Great big guy. But I know, I totally agree. I know folk maybe get sick of listening to me and you banging on the drum about it, but I would love to know the reasoning or the board's reasonings behind no having one. to say is when surely God, all these big teams can't all be wrong if they're all going down the road of a director of football.
See, that's the kind of question somebody should ask at the AGM.
Aye, you don't get to ask questions at the AGM, you know that, mate.
I mean, rather than the kind of staged questions so that they've already know the answers to, but just ask them. I mean, I don't think it's that. I mean, is it that controversial to ask that?
I don't know how. I've never ever been to one, mate. And
no, but anybody. See, even if you were, even all these kind of press conferences that Celtic fan media and that getting invited to. I know it's not the kind of thing that you would ask Brendan Rodgers about, but these guys get powwows behind the door chats with guys like Lyle and probably Nicholson and that. Even privately ask them about it. Just say, why have you not got a director of football?
Yep, of course. It'd be brilliant to get it answered, but you'll not get it answered.
Well, we've done it. But when? In 1999, we done it in 1999 with Kenny Dalglish. I know it was a disaster, but we done it then, which was kind of forward thinking, and we've never done it since. And I've said it as well. Peter Lowell he was the kind of de facto director of football for years. But John Parton's here, at least John Parton knew a bit about players and knew a bit about football to kind of keep him right about it and made us a lot of good signings.
Aye.
But just to no have it, it's just because it's like it's just come the summer, we don't win the league and Rodgers leaves. We're back to square one.
Yep.
We've got nothing. We're trying to get a coach in, we're trying to get a manager in, but you need to work with John Kennedy, you need to do this. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yep.
Instead of just putting it in the one guy, the director of football, and he can get it. And he'll even have people in mind that if Rodgers done another midnight flip, he's got somebody in mind. Do you know what I mean? All right, I spoke to him a few times. He's a good coach. He's a good manager.
Aye.
I was talking to a guy the other day about just and he flung a name in, right? And I've never heard of the guy. I don't know if anybody in the thing was, but she's been linked to the Sunderland job now. A guy called Will Still. He's only about 32 or 33, but I think he's Belgian.
Right.
And he seems to be like the next big thing to come in, to be the next kind of big coach to come in. And see, Celtic, that's the kind of guy Celtic should be going to get. It's like, I loved Ronnie Dyler, right?
I was going to say we were doing that, but never get backed.
I maintain, but see if Ronnie Dyler came in and there had been a director of football place, Ronnie Dyler wouldn't have had half the problems he had.
Yep, agreed.
Do you know what I mean? Because if the director of football is looking after everything above him, so all Ronnie has to do is coach the players, which is what he was never what you call a manager. He was never a Brendan Rodgers type of manager or that. He was a coach.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're bringing in a coach, you need to have somebody that can look after the other side of the kind of football department and all that, and take all the heat off Ronnie or whoever it is.
Yep. Aye, definitely. But it'd be nice to see. But we've got all these old clouds on this board that will never ever happen, forward thinking.
Oh, unless Roger Mitchell was right.
Nah, smoke mirrors. You hear this shite all the time, mate. It's I speak to a couple of boys this morning before they were going to the game. We're talking about it, but it's normally around about March, April. You hear about this is going to happen, signings are going to happen just for season ticket renewals.
Season ticket renewals, yeah.
And then they come out, they get their dough, and then you hear nothing else again about it. And then, as you've said, when we're winning leagues and trebles, people say you've got a cheek to challenge or say anything because you're spoiled or what more do you want for the club?
Aye. I mean, as long as you've known me, Jerry, I've banged on about the same kind of stuff.
Okay, years, mate, years.
Even when we were winning trebles and everything.
Yep.
And even getting back to Ange, when I said that, put all our eggs in the Ange basket, we can't afford to do that, because when he leaves, it all goes tits up. Ange's get the youth team playing the way, so in a couple of years' time, all these youth players will be able to just seamlessly move into the first team. And so Ange bulked it, so who's telling the first team the B team and that how to play now?
Yep.
Again, there's some even, and I still think Celtic will win the league. But even if we don't, doesn't matter. There's got to be changes behind the scenes at Celtic this summer.
Of course, definitely. But I really don't want to think about them winning the league, so we'll not go down that route. But as you said, regardless of what happens, there's got to be big changes. Do you think Rodgers will stay?
If we win the league,
Aye.
If we win the league, he'll stay. If we don't win the league, he can't stay.
Do you think he would walk, or do you think the board would get rid of him?
I think it would be a mutual agreement, surely.
Aye. Yep.
I mean, because for a start, I think it would, the fan base, it would go ultra toxic if we don't win the league.
Aye.
And, well, who else is going to lose their job over it? You're not going to. It's none of the players. Do you know what I mean? No players lose their job for not winning the league. It's the manager.
Aye. No, I agree. I agree entirely. Because it came to half time today, you were hearing there was folks saying that he's lost the dressing room and this and all the rest of it. But I genuinely don't think he's lost that dressing room. Nobody gone with the second half performance and the way they acted at the end.
I mean, if he's lost the dressing room, but who's he lost?
No, he's not. I genuinely don't think he has.
I mean, I don't. But all these players have signed all these new contracts and that. If they didn't buy into what the manager was doing. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
They're not extending deals. If they were, I'm not going to play for him. This is garbage. They'd be looking at it. Well, I'm not signing a new deal here. I'm offering the first decent offer I get.
Aye.
Maybe certain players or maybe their noses put at a joint, because I mean, let's be honest, he's come out and he's not threw any players that like personally under the bus, but many times he's been out and just talked about how he needs to add quality and stuff like that. So the players that are in the team are maybe saying, but man, quality, who's he talking about? Is it me? Is it what's going on here?
Yep. There, Kieran said about Big Ida's winning him over. He had slagged him off. I think there was a few in the exact same boat, mate. There were a few, none of us were impressed when he came in. However, his performances, his work rate, and the determination, you can't help but like the big guy, and long may it continue, because he's pulled us out of disaster today, his performance. So we'll wait and see. See this McKenna, you keep hearing everybody banging on about him. Was that the boy who was at Man U? He's Ipswich coach now.
Aye.
I seen folk going on about him. All I know is he was a right good coach at Man U. I think was it Ranić and all that liked him, and Solskjaer had him. But I've seen folk talking about him. Kieran McKenna. But I've seen folk talk about him in the chat at half time when I jumped on. But I don't. I think that's a non-starter. I think it's a non-starter.
But that's the thing I know about Jerry. Even if Rodgers did leave at the end of the season, who are we going to go for? We're not going to go for one of these kind of modern, forward, young coaches that we think, do you know what I mean? The kind of thing that we want to get into the club. It's going to be another ex-player, somebody that somebody knows in the, do you know what I mean? Somebody that Davy Moyes, if he loses a West Ham job.
McInnes.
Derek McInnes. I think he's seen that McKenna's a massive blue nose. Yeah, he is. I know he's from Northern Ireland. I know that. I wasn't sure what side he fell on, but
aye.
I think we can write him off then, can't we?
I think so. Aye. Yeah, unless he's going to do a number on it.
Anton Logan saying get Klopp.
Aye.
Klopp Mourinho fight now.
Don't like. That's just pie in the sky. You know what I mean? Mourinho, you'd never.
No, that was crazy. That was crazy in the live chat today, wasn't it?
Aye, I know. It was the same as when Bobby and I think Pedro were talking on that Discord about the Saudis and Mourinho and all the rest of it. They must be on the glue talking about all that. None of that would ever happen. and I wouldn't welcome the Saudis anyway, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't be keen on it.
No.
I plunge, I thought that as well. It sounds a bit of a Tim name, doesn't it?
Aye, I was going to say it and on. I thought I better know.
No.
Aye, I thought he would have been one of us as well, but no. No joy for him.
This Bobby's taking it off, man, because we keep calling him out for the stuff he says when no one hearing that. Called out again, him and Pedro.
Well said, Kieran. Anyway, Jock Steen was a blue nose. Never bothered us then. Brian, you're adamant this is happening. Have you got inside info? He keeps saying it, McKenna's going to us. We'll wait and see.
Oh, well.
Aye. He said it a few times.
Bobby Backtrack. That's your new name there, Bobby Backtrack, the mod for God. It wasn't serious chat, the Saudi thing. It was Mourinho, it was a joke.
Aye. Very good. Very good. He was dying for it, him and Pedro.
I mean, I don't see. I mean, it's like, see, even one of these big rich Saudis. I mean, I'm like you, Jerry. I wouldn't want it either. But see, if they did buy us, it'd be like, well, really, what's the level of ambition for us as a club?
Mm-hmm.
Because unless you were willing to spend umpteen ultra millions of pounds, kind of thing, it's not as if we're going to win the Champions League.
Yep, I know.
We've not got a great TV deal. We've not got. So I wouldn't see anything like that. I'd like to see like some of the other, like I know Dermot Desmond's a major shareholder, but we've got that guy Trainer.
Yep.
And another couple of guys. I'd like to see even them kind of see if they all put their shareholding together, and even what the Celtic supporters got between them, could they maybe no outvote Dermot Desmond?
What's he got? He's got about 33 or 34%. I think
it's 34. Somebody said earlier on. Aye. So I mean, you need to look into it, but see, even if you could get up to the kind of, I mean, I don't. I'm sure I read the Celtic Trust control about 17%. Maybe I picked that up wrong, and it was. But I'm sure I read that somewhere because I know a lot of. But the Celtic Trust have done a thing in. No, Kev, no Jim Trainer. Is it Chris Trainer? Somebody did all the big advertising stuff in about
Chris Trainer or David Trainer.
No, it's David Trainer, is it?
No, it's Chris Trainer.
But I mean, I'm not saying that even to kind of have a boardroom fight with Dermot Desmond or it, but see if enough the other kind of major shareholders and even like the Celtic Trust, because I know they were running campaigns about like getting all the Celtic guys that have got a few shares just to give them the kind of voting thing with the proxy votes and stuff, so that they're kind of building up the amount of shares that the Celtic Trust control. So even if you could get enough that you could get to just to get it to Dermot Desmond's attention, look, that's isn't good enough. Do you know what? Just that Linsold Train, that's another one as well. I mean, no like an ousting of Dermot Desmond even, but just enough for the other shareholders to come out and say, look, we need to change the way we're doing things. We need to get this. We need to move on. We need to modernise stuff because what we're doing is just not good enough.
Aye. Oh, spots and maybes, it'll be good, but we'll wait and see what happens.
James Martin, that's 1.6%, Bobby, or 16%? 16%.
No, it must be 6%. It must be 6%. Because why are we discussing pipe dreams? If only, love it. If only.
But that's what I mean. But Dermot Desmond doesn't need to go anywhere. It just means that the other shareholders aren't happy, and that's, you don't need to fall out about it. It's a PLC, so if they're not happy with the way that the PLC is running, they're totally entitled to bring it up and try and make changes. Even though maybe they can't outbid Dermot Desmond, but then if it did become nasty, then they could start buying other shares off of people and take our Dermot Desmond. just because Dermot Desmond's the majority shareholder, if other people weren't happy with it, there is ways that you can deal with that.
Who's he talking? Who's Bobby talking about? Who's in the glue? Us?
Must be us too, because we've been talking about him and Pedro being on it all day.
Aye. Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, there's more chance of what we're talking about happening. Mourinho taking you at Celtic, Bobby. That's a certainty.
Aye, aye. Definitely. Mourinho to Celtic. I've heard that all now,
Can you imagine that?
No, he needs money. Everywhere he goes, he needs money. Don't think he knows how to win games and grind out results and get trophies. And I don't think he would accept any shite for the board and all the rest of it. But no, I don't think it would happen in a month of Sundays, my man.
I don't. Bobby, calm down. Putting it all in capital letters and that. He's going to be a bit upset there.
Aye, he's getting touchy. PMT.
What's the Saudis? It's the Saudis he does. The Saudis he wants to do.
I want the Saudis with Mourinho as a manager. I read it. I need to screenshot it, Bobby, and get it up here.
Signing Mbappe. That's some money he's getting into.
Aye, frightening. I don't know how it'll take him. Take him a wee bit to spend to get burn his way through all of that. $100 million signing on fee.
Oof.
All right for that, innit?
I know.
Wouldn't mind that.
I mean, that could buy Celtic. Do you know what I mean? Signing on fee could buy Celtic.
Aye.
Good night, Rod. Good night, Rod, mate. Thanks very much for coming in again, bud. Nice to see you, mate.
Night, Rod. All the best, buddy.
What's that doc saying there? The club's been absolutely fine for years. The personnel, the recruitment, and scouting, it needs sorted.
Couldn't agree more.
But is that not part of how the club's been run?
£1 million per week Mbappe's getting.
Oof. I only got my bed for that.
No.
I would for a week. I got my bed for a week and then honed in a sick line.
On full pay. Night, Brian. All the best, mate.
Good night, Brian, mate. Keep it positive as always.
Yep. Oh well.
That's crazy money, isn't it?
Aye. No half.
If
the club was run properly, I would be 2 points behind just now. It's been shite. I can't believe the shift in it. However, it's happened. We just need to deal with it. We can't do anything about it on our part to get behind the team. Just keep going.
Do you know what I mean? That's it. Just get into every game as if it's a cup final. Make sure we win it. And we've said we're only 2 points behind. We win every game. That's us. Win the league.
Aye.
Good night, Kieran. Thanks again for joining us, bud. Nice to see you, mate.
Night, Kieran. All the best, bud. I've heard a few folk wanting Martin O'Neill in, but he's not managed in years.
I don't think he'd even fancy another crack at management.
Not at his age and all that. No, he wouldn't be interested at all. Definitely no. Definitely not.
For me, it just comes down to basically if we win the league, Rodgers will be manager next season, and if we don't, he won't be.
Aye, I think so too.
We'll know if Joe Hart, so we can spend all summer. Just think of the podcast we'll be able to get out of having no goalkeeper signed, no manager, mind Eddie Howe.
Aye, that was
weeks and weeks talking about him and podcasts and that, and then he bolted and talked his back.
What he would do and all that, aye.
JFP was a fan of him and all, wasn't he?
Aye. Oh, aye. And then Ange, total left field, then he knew who he was.
Do you think that was just luck? Do you think that was just we were lucky?
I think the luck. I don't know how they would have known him. There must have been something to do with the City group. It must have been something to do with that we got him in. But we were about to get lucky. We've had a fair share of Fleming Walliper managers over the years, so we were due a bit of luck.
I mean, it was a masterstroke of luck, and even his first couple of games, everybody was, oh no, what have we done here and that, wasn't it? But once it get clicking, it's been some of the best football we've seen at Celtic, to be fair, in the last 20 odd year.
It was fantastic. But we, like Rodgers, we had the last season that we had some right shite performance, but it's going to happen. It's not going to be fantastic all the time. And you're right, Henk, it did take Bawz to take a chance on him.
Aye.
100%.
The thing about it is, see if Celtic Kenny took a chance on him, I don't know why he'd have been in Spurs or anywhere probably now. I mean, he was 50 odds when we brought him in.
Yep.
And
I think he'll end up at Liverpool. I think he's going to replace Klopp. There's Plunge said it and all.
Nah.
I'm telling you the now. My pal.
Xabi Alonso.
Nah, he'll go to Bayern. It'll be Ange, he'll end up there. He's getting out the same kind of vibes as he did when he was here with Tottenham. Same kind of shite. Non-committal and he's no coming out and saying, no, look, I'm the Tottenham manager, this is where I'll be next season. Hashtag Ange for Anfield. Let him walk out. I can't
see it.
Wait and see. Wouldn't be surprised.
What about Man United?
In a basket case, isn't they?
But that Radcliffe taking her, do you know what I mean?
Aye. I don't know. He's not going to do much at Tottenham. They're shite, full stop. Anfield, Bobby.
You got them to the top of the league and that was it. Do you know that was the highlight of their season? It's not going to get any better for them than that.
No, that's it. Their season's done. But it's just petering out. It's just petering out now. They're sixth. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up there because I think he's getting out the same kind of vibes. I'm
getting outvoted with a live chat here. It looks as if Ange's going to Liverpool.
I'm hoping he is. But he is a Liverpool fan.
McInnes is going to Old Trafford, I heard.
Aye. We'll wait and see.
Think Rodgers would get a sniff of any other kind of job like that?
No, not a chance.
I know he's always said he fancies managing in Spain. He's always been a big fan of that. And he's obviously got hussies in that earlier.
Aye, and he was learning Spanish, wasn't he?
Aye, and I think again, after Celtic, it'll be a Spanish kind of mid-level team. You know what I mean? It's not Barca and Real Madrid, Atletico, and that. Are they going to try and get Rodgers in as manager? None of the big teams in England are going to go for him again.
Yep. James, I see that
420 somewhere. It is here. It's just turning 420 here, mate.
Moyes has been offered a contract with West Ham, apparently. He's been offered a new contract.
When you want him now?
No.
Said as well, but I have said as well, but the one thing about if we had get Moyes when we were meant to be getting him, we would have showed up a lot better in Europe under Moyes than even we did under Ange, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because Moyes would have set us up defensively a bit like a Neil Lennon team.
Aye. Born as end to watch, but grinding out results.
He's a dinosaur. He really is. And then, I mean, the players, they try to pass to Johnson and end up hitting it to Moyes in the dugout.
Aye, no. It's,
we could get away with 12 men in the park. The ref would look and say, is that Alistair Johnson or Davy Moyes on the ball earlier?
Aye, but some
Steve Clark.
Some team thought he would aim. No, Steve Clark, he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it. And I wouldn't want him either. Boring football. No,
I wouldn't want him. I know he wouldn't take it, and you can understand that as well.
Aye.
You know what I mean? But I wouldn't want Steve Clark either. But he'd have done the same kind of job, Bobby. He would have been the same manager. He'd have been able to set up defensively and that, and we wouldn't have been pummeled as much in Europe probably.
No, definitely no.
But there's been the same kind of tactics when you're sitting watching us playing against teams in Scotland where your one is to attack, and it doesn't work like that with him.
Aye, definitely. 100%.
I mean, fair dues, he's doing well with Scotland. But that again, that's how Scotland should be playing. We're not going to go and outplay anybody.
Yep. Aye, well, I'm like you. I'm hoping after these Euros that McGregor calls it a day. And that,
what is it then? 2 years to the World Cup it will be. Surely he's not going to try and keep playing to that.
No. You need to hope they get into it as well. But no, I'm hoping. I wouldn't bother my ass watching Scotland if they're in my back garden. But I wouldn't mind if he wrapped it after the Euros. At least he said he's been to the tournament with his country, and that's him done. Chill pill, hail, my man.
Late to the party. Thanks very much for coming in, bud. Colin Wanker. I think that's some of the best. That's one of the best laughs I've ever had in football. Neil Warnock.
Oh, aye.
His name's an anagram of Colin Wanker.
Aye.
I see first time. It was one of the English heads to explain it to me years ago. Kept calling him on the English sites, and I had to ask what it was in that. And they put even the talisman. Oh, I was buckled at it really.
Aye. There's Plunge was asking who would you want. I couldn't tell. I'd be lying if I said who I'd want as a manager if Rodgers had to leave. Wouldn't have a clue. That nuts, and I knew we time we were hoping it was him, but I don't know. But I'd be lost. I wouldn't have right now. I couldn't tell you who I'd take.
See, no, I would love to know. See when Daddy Lil binned all the applications for the job and they gave it to Lennon in the toilets. I'd love to know who was in that pile.
100%.
I mean, there's got to be kind of managers out there, even maybe what you would consider maybe a better level than even the likes of Rodgers or that they would maybe fancy coming to Celtic, rebuild their reputation, whatever.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But see these kind of managers, even down to players, see if you don't ask the question, you'll never know.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
I mean, because it's not as if Celtic, they could ask 20 guys if they're interested in the job, and if the 20 of them say no, that's fine. Nobody ever needs to find out about it.
Hi there, Bobby.
You know what I mean?
I remember that we all thought that it was going to be him at one point.
Who?
And at the time I can remember that's who I was wanting.
Oh, Marco Rose.
Aye.
I mean, guys like that. Jesse Marsh. I mean, guys, these kind of young upcoming coaches and stuff like, and we're just plodding along. As I said, we get very, very lucky with Ange because it could have went just as wrong as it did go right.
Aye. After a few games, as you've said, we thought that was like, well, what the fuck's going on here?
And then Rodgers again, but I mean, I wasn't keen on Rodgers coming back, but it's his actual quality as a manager. I was happy.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Because again, Ange left us for a job that Rodgers turned down. So it shows you how even down in England he was still regarded as a good enough coach. But and then to get him back, he was probably the best available kind of thing, whatever. But who else would have fancied the job when it's out there and open? And I mean, you're talking to managers. They went out to Spain to speak to him, and they've obviously hit him with, it's so different, the recruitment's so different from what it was like the last time and stuff like that. And,
aye.
Well, whatever's went wrong there, but other managers as well would have been like, well, wait, I read in the paper that they've got £70 million in the bank, they're just off the back of a treble, we're in the Champions League. I'll fancy giving this a crack for a couple of years and see how it goes.
Aye. Definitely.
But I went down the safe route again, and is it a bit of nepotism again, going back to Dermot Desmond's pal?
Did they look the safe route right now?
No, but on paper, I mean, really on paper. Well, until they get rid of Beale, we were cruising.
Aye. Yep. Do you
You know
think
what I
he's a
mean?
decent manager who they've got in?
Big Balder, what?
Aye.
Well, he seems to be all right when everything's going his way. But as we saw when we beat them, he doesn't take too well when the pressure's on him, sir. Wait till maybe some of the results don't go his way and see how he reacts to that.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
I mean, he's
hopefully that's sooner.
he's definitely a better manager than Beale, which, I mean,
He's a
let's be
clown,
honest,
man.
it wouldn't be hard.
Not. All right.
Do you think he'll get another job?
Saudi, possibly, but that's, I mean, all that
I
carry
don't.
on after Twitter was unreal.
Oh, aye, that thing about the
shite.
company. That thing, what was it? It was a company was running it, a Twitter account.
Talent idea, player idea, something like that. And he started like putting himself out there, defending, or obviously trying to not make it was him, but he's basically defending his decisions and all the rest of the shite, his transfers and what he had done and his coaching, and then he put out the wider kind of a view for behind him, a camera view for behind him, but that player walking off saying that he never noticed him and he would never no acknowledge him when he was walking off the pitch or that shite. But then it was on an account. It was his Twitter account that he made up like 2017 or 16. So he's I don't think he'll get another gig. I really don't. But you know that there's ones out there that are better at just sticking at the coaching that can't do the managing.
Aye. I mean, it was meant to be he was the brains behind Gerrard, wasn't it?
Aye, but I think he's been putting that out there online himself.
Yeah,
I genuinely do. I think he's been putting himself out there. As they say, I think he's a fantastic salesman. I think he's managed to dupe a lot of people. But who cares?
But Wolves tried to get him. Do you know what I mean? He turned him down in a cup. He turned him down saying, I can't leave this project. What would it look like if the top man left the project or something, the QPR project? 2 weeks later, he was up at Ibrox saying that. I don't even think people would respect his kind of morals in that now for some of the stuff that he's done.
No,
Even Kaiser, mate, nice to see you, bud.
Hail, Kaiser. He went away into that Loudon and all the rest of it, man. That was shocking. I mean, it was just a rat doing that with the manager still there. He knew exactly what he was doing. So no, he's no. Good. It's good riddance to him, man. He deserves everything he gets. Plus, he's one of them.
That was a bit scumbaggy, wasn't it?
Oh, guy, shocking, mate. Absolutely shocking. Regardless of what team it was for and all the rest of it, it was bang out of order. And I hope Gio lamped him as he was walking out the door.
Set the Dutch mafia on him.
No, we'll wait and see. So what's your prediction? What's the score on Wednesday night?
I'll go for. Wait, just have a wee conversation with Yoda then. See what he's saying. I'll go for 4-0.
4?
Aye.
I'm going to go for 3. I'll go for 3-0. 3-0.
I'll go for 4. I'd to get 2.
Aye.
Matt O'Reilly to get 1.
Fucking hell. Aye, I'm going to go with 3-0, but we'll wait and see.
3-0.
Aye,
that's weird. That's mental into that Potter. He's still in gardening leave, isn't he?
Aye, but no one of the wages he's getting.
Aye, he's getting paid a heavy fortune.
Aye, he's quids in the now, man. Quite right. I'd be taking as much time after now as well, because the minute he gets a job, that's his gardening leave over. So it would need to be a right good gig for me to sacrifice that kind of payout. Do you know what I mean?
But even at that, I mean, that's not why he's been out now, but he's got to take a job just to keep his toe in the water, kind of thing, surely.
Aye, he's been linked with a right few jobs, hasn't he? We'll wait and see. He's a decent enough manager, is he not?
Oh, aye, definitely. But I mean, at Chelsea, that's another kind of poison chalice, isn't it?
Aye, basket case job. Because that boy Pochettino, he's in a sugly peg as well.
I wouldn't. You wouldn't. The other guy, do you know what I mean? Another guy that seems to get all these top jobs in that and done hee-haw.
Aye. He fought Tottenham at the Champions League final, didn't he?
Aye. He didn't win it.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? How many top teams has he been at that he's meant to have been? I mean, it was him and that Andra Villas-Boas as well. They were meant to be like the next kind of top coaches coming through in the world and stuff like that. But for me, they kind of just joined big clubs too soon and just chewed them up and spat them out. And they never recover for that, I don't think.
Aye, Villas-Boas definitely never. He was too big too soon as well. Away down to Chelsea and all the rest of it. Made an arse of it.
For that money, I'd stay in the garden.
Aye, fucking right. Aye.
Would you cut your own grass? Would you cut your own grass, John?
Eh?
Would you cut your own grass, but for that money, I'd stay in the garden.
Aye.
Just tell the boy to moor in about your deck chair.
Aye, I wouldn't be leaving it either, that's for sure.
Hey, you bring that up, Jerry Bud, since you're up.
Aye, mate. I'm up at 4, unfortunately, to go to work.
Where are you, Edinburgh?
I leave myself, eh?
Where are you, Edinburgh again?
No, well, I've got to pick a boy up at Edinburgh and then go to work and down to the Borders. So I've got to be down there for about 6:30 at a job. So we'll wait and see what happens. Aye, we're cutting a bit fine. But hopefully I'm finished early.
I'd be paying Nacho Novo to eat the grass.
Are you going for a pod on Thursday?
Aye,
good man then. Hopefully we get a result on Wednesday night and everybody gets on a live chat.
I mean, another 3 points in the bag and another step towards the title.
Aye, it's the 3 points are the main thing now.
When's the next Scottish Cup round getting played?
Pass.
Who in the chat knows that? When's the next cup game?
No idea, mate. No idea.
No.
Not too fussed.
Couple of weeks, Bobby's saying. Right. Thanks
all the
very
best,
much, Jerry, for coming on.
Thanks for having us. All right. Hail, everybody. God bless. Take care.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Jerry, bud. Good night,
Night,
mate. Hey, again, thanks everybody. Jerry, Terence for coming on. Everybody in the live chat. Really appreciate it. All the subs, all the likes. Remember and hit the like button. And remember, come across to our forum at www.celticrumours.co.uk. Have a blather on there with all the moaning face gets on that as well. Again, I really appreciate it. All the subs, all the likes, subscriptions and everything. We're up at 940 odds now and getting nearly 1,000 on every podcast we're doing. So again, thanks very much, lads. That's it. Good night. Hail. Good night and God bless.